With Hangouts on Air, it's easy to broadcast your Hangouts live to the world and record them as YouTube videos. To begin, click Start a Hangout. Invite people to join your Hangout. Name your Hangout and click Enable Hangouts on Air. Review and agree to the legal terms to continue. You only need to do this once. The first time you start a Hangout on Air, we'll ask you to link your YouTube account so we can record your Hangouts to your YouTube channel. Click Hangout. Your Hangout will begin, but don't worry, you won't be broadcasting or recording just yet. Once you're in the Hangout, adjust your lighting and camera angles so you look your best. To stream your Hangout live on another website, simply copy and paste the link to embed your Hangout. When you're ready, click Start Broadcast. At this point, your Hangout is broadcasting live on your Google Plus profile, your YouTube account, and any website where you've embedded it. While you're broadcasting, your viewers will see everything you see in the Hangout, except for your chat conversations and the number of people who are watching your broadcast. You can mute people in your Hangout if their background is noisy, or click on a person's video to make the main screen stay on that person. When you're done, a recording of your Hangout will post publicly, so anyone who missed your live Hangout can still join in the fun. So go ahead, start your first Hangout on Air today and broadcast your conversation to the world.
Hey, let's. Hey, Mr. Dennis, can you hear me? I'm not sure how to do a chat on here. Let me see if I can enable. So no mic. Okay, cool. I was trying to enable you to talk, so that's cool. All right, so you can see the screen though. That's good. Yeah, not a problem. I'm just playing with this to see how it works, right? Because I've not used it before. I was kind of messing around with it this morning, thinking about it, because I'd seen someone else do this, and I thought it was a pretty cool setup. I used to use live stream, and it was such a pain in the butt, and things have come a long way. Can you see me in the video there, up in the? Because I've actually got it on my laptop so I can see myself. I don't know if that shows on your screen or not. Okay, let me, while others are getting ready and trying to join, let me see about if I do this. Let it redraw. How does that look? See that pretty good, huh? That's good. I like that. So you can actually see, and I can too, I can see the screen really well. So can you, Dennis, can you see me on the Hangout screen itself? Because I thought I would see you, and I think I can see, yeah, I see your login here. So that's me in the orange shirt, it's just me and you in there now. But on your Hangout screen itself, yeah, cool, okay. So if I get really close, you can see me. Cool. Lord forbid if I come in here and I'll open my mouth. Gobble you up. Yeah, this is pretty cool. I agree with you. Well, while I wait on others, I'm going to kind of screw around here. Because Matt asked a good question, and I wanted to talk about it. And I thought this would be an opportunity to talk about it. Okay, this market is going nowhere. I don't think it's going to go anywhere today. With Europe closed. Can I see your screen? Oh yeah, I can. Except for you got nothing on it. Yeah, I don't see it. I mean, I see that you're. Let me see, showing with I see. So I can control and put your screen on for everybody if I want to. It looks like. Mr. Montgomery just joined. That's good. So, yeah, I can't see your screen though. I mean, I can see that your icon disappeared. And it's trying to show something here, but I don't see your screen. So, Matt, do you have a mic on your PC? Or whatever you're using to view this? No? Okay. When somebody gets on here that has a mic, I want to try to see how that works. Yeah, no problem, no problem. We're just testing here, so we'll see how it works. I don't know if anybody else is going to join, but since Matt's on and Matt's asked the question, uh, I thought maybe what I'd do is instead of trying to explain this crap, I'd show you a chart and talk about it. So if I pull the chart back up and blow it up so that we get a full screen so you can see it, you go to the S&P 500, then what I can do is try to answer your question, Matt. So let me go back up and read your question again. Let me see, what did you tell me? Okay, if the structure for a larger decline is present now, what is the significance of the actualization? That's bad, that's what the significance is. Since it's higher than the 1737 previous low. So let me pull this out to a weekly. 1737. Which one are you talking about now? Oh, you're talking about this one. Yeah, well, actually, that is even more problematic, and I'll talk about why. Yeah. Okay, so I think I get the gist of your question here. So let's chat about what it means. So the first thing is that you've got. Let me get the screen up here. So I grab this. Right, the first thing, let me get this off the screen, is that we have this swing point low already, and we have this one that's just formed, right? This is now officially actualized. It already happened today. So the two of these, if you look at where they're at, right, they're close together. So you have one here and you got one there. And we're talking about, what is that? That's when I have it this big, I don't get my, there's the numbers. So why do I not get the numbers over here? Well, that's kind of weird. Huh. I don't get my numbers unless I'm over to the left side. I've never seen that before. I wonder if it has to do with, let me do it this way, out of curiosity. Yeah. It's like when I have it too big, I don't get the numbers all the way across. Okay, something else for me to look at. Hadn't seen that before. All right, so let me do something different here while I'm doing this, and pull it up here too, so I can get the numbers here if I need numbers. Okay, so if I pull it in and go back to this chart, make this chart big, put it back on the Okay, and now I can see this one. So the number here, the low is 1738. This one's 1820. So they're really 100 points apart. And so that doesn't make it that bad. It potentially could be worse if we actually start breaking something down here. But so it's 100 points closer. What's important about this is not, it's not that this one's here as much as this one's a swing point low now. It's that this swing point low is also a weekly swing point low. And if you take and pull this off and look at this, right, what we have here is a bullish retest regen with that being in there, right, that low now. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the higher one. This is a bullish retest regen with a low up underneath it. So, from my perspective, if you break this, right, that says what? That says you're probably into more of a sideways trend instead of up. So instead of this, we're more of this. And if you break on a monthly, which seldom happens, it's always somewhat significant. And this is telling you it's going to be significant because in this case, it's going to break there. Now, the number on this, going back to the price point, that low is 1820. So if I pull this in now, 1820 is going to be get rid of these again. 1820 is going to be this number as well. Wait, I go back to CHH, GSTC. Go back here. 1820 is going to be this number as well. Plus, this is a swing point low as well, 1814. So the danger setup here in the structure, of course, is that you've got these two swing point lows, and right now, we're in this range trade up here, and we can look at that in a second. But we're in this range trade. You've got these swing point lows, and you got two more down here, and these also would be multiple time frame breaks. So a break here would be multiple time frame breaks. A break here would also be multiple time frame breaks. Right? So in other words, if you push through this area, especially if we pull down to here, mess around for a little bit, then break here, that drives us into this area, and then you mess around here for a while, and then break, right? That drives you back, into the top of this to start with, and then potentially, eventually, into the bottom, right? Which is the total rate. So in other words, I would expect the way this works is you come down here, you eventually break, assuming that you break. You come down here, you eventually break, drives you into the next area, right, the break here, you mess around, you break, drives you into this next area, you mess around, you eventually break this. Now you cascade more into the top of this bar to start with. Mess around here for a little bit, and then you break again, and you go down here, and again, if you mess around a little bit, or you just break, right, then you have that whole cascading effect taking place. And that cascading effect, if it happens, that's where you get these large declines, right, these large structure declines. And if we really were to break underneath here, then we potentially not only have a large decline, we have a change in long-term trend. And in this case, it would go intermediate, the long-term goes sideways. Doesn't mean we're going bearish, but it would certainly change the equation, and it would say that any subsequent rallies back up have to be very, viewed as very suspicious. So, my whole thought here is that's the structure. The structure is in place now. But we're a long way away from it. We're way up here still, right? And we're up in this area. So until we really get down here and test this area here, it doesn't really matter. If we break here, then this becomes extremely important, right? Because a break here then puts this back into play potentially here, eventually here. Okay, I don't know if that answers the question, but that's the whole structure. Right, and that's the structure you're always worried about. Now, as I've said many times, to have the structure and to have the structure actually actualize is a totally different story, right? It doesn't mean it's going to happen. It just means that it can happen. And so, when I look at it, the ideal here is, hey, we have the potential. What we have to see is it actualize. And I usually say, it's a necessary, but it's not a sufficient condition to have that. So we have the necessary condition in place. What we don't have is we don't have the sufficient. It doesn't make sufficient. It actually has to do it, to happen. So that's the key. May we'll see the dip. Is that a question? I think that's a question. Yeah, I think so. And actually, I didn't show this, but if we look at the daily, right? Here's the real concern on the daily is they're all nested down here together, right? You got a swing point low here, another one that's fairly close to this one, and these two are right together. These are also over here and here are also the weeklies. So, excuse me, they're not weeklies. These are the dailies, right? So the dailies could potentially get a push down if they break. And so the real question in May, and I suspect what will happen sometime in May, potentially as late as June, is that we're eventually going to work our way down into this area, and then
that's where we have the potential to break and go down and really test those weaknesses. I'm not, you know, and I mean, think about where we're at, right? We don't have, you know, and I said this many times, and I keep telling myself the same thing. We don't have any fundamental catalysts, right? There's just nothing in place right now to take us higher. The only thing that's keeping us higher is the world markets and the QE that keeps getting poured into these markets around the world. Whether it's China, and I know China quote unquote isn't QE yet, but they're talking about it. You got Japan that's just, you know, they're kamikaze QE. They have no choice, right? They have to double down every year now. And then you got Europe, which has decided that this is the Holy Grail as well, which is, you know, a bunch of crap, but that's the way people view it right now. So, you know, we've got those catalysts that are out there that potentially can, you know, hold us in this kind of state, you know, for another 2, 3, 4, 5 months. I don't know. You know, QE tends, you know, depending on how long they go and how much they put out there, QE tends to last for a while. So, you know, when I look at this stuff, I don't see anything to take us higher. At the same time, I don't see a huge risk to break down yet. But the curious thing is that, you know, and you guys are experienced. You know how it works. They keep the balls in the air as long as they can, right? They're always juggling these things. And, you know, then you get a problem over here, ball almost gets dropped, somebody grabs it, we pick it back up, we keep the balls juggling. And the idea here is that at some point, somebody makes a miscalculation, and it's an unintended consequence that takes place. And when that happens, you know, this cascade effect can come out of nowhere. And that's the way it usually comes, right? It comes out of nowhere and just blows things apart. Now, the structure has to be there for it to get blown apart, else it will create that structure and then blow it apart. And I've seen it both ways. You know, I look back at, you know, I've got all these graphs here, you know, must be 62 from 62 forward. All the breakdowns, the large percentage declines that have taken place. And I've poured up these graphs over the, you know, past 6 months, 8 months. Before that, I looked back, you know, a decent back to 87 as far as that. I went all the way back to 62 using the S&P. Sometimes that structure is there when it starts to decline. Sometimes it creates that structure as part of the decline. It can be either way. We have the structure in place. We'll see, you know, if we get the decline or not. Okay. All right. So, hey, that worked pretty good. This thing. Now I need to look and see why this doesn't do what I thought it should do. We just got the pop up here. So they finally get the breakout. You see how they line them up here and then they spurt? They just blew away some stuff there. So now they have the ABCD structure. You see that was from 2070. So it's roughly 25 on to finish up about 2112. 2112, where does that take you? Just over these highs. So it's going to cover to drive itself up into this area. And it'll probably take you until Monday to do it. Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to leave it at that. Thanks.